3, 2, 1.
Racing World is presented by Race Control Magazine.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to a Racing World special. Special because it's the 66th running of the New Zealand Grand Prix. Now, I'm currently still involved in the yachting, as you can see. Got a bit of yachting theme going here. Darcy, we actually don't know where he is. He went away on holiday and hasn't come back yet, so we assume he's at a beach somewhere. And Bob, well, I've entrusted him with the tin can and the piece of string, finally he might say, and he's out at Hampton Downs in the northern part of the Waikato in Auckland, New Zealand. And he's there for the New Zealand Grand Prix run by the Toyota Racing Series. It's the 66th running of the New Zealand Grand Prix and some amazing names out there. So what better thing to do and let Bob take over.
With Kenny Smith and Tom Alexander. Kenny, I've got to say the hat says it all. Now you stand there just for a second and I'll come around here. And what does it say on the side? Oh, I can look and come and see it. Look at that. Proud of punch, eh? What a great thing to have, Ken. 50th, and you get the hat. You get the t-shirt?
Got the lot.
And Tom, must be good for you to be, I don't know, you're racing against or with your mentor in motorsport.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me this weekend, is to share my first with Kenny's 50th is something that's always been quite special to me. So obviously this man's a legend. He's done 49 of them already. I'm just doing my first on Sunday. So yeah, it's an incredible achievement. I think it's one of the best achievements in New Zealand motorsport, history. It's crazy to think he's done 50 of the same race, so at least 50 years of racing. So and such different cars, from when he first won in 76 to obviously in 90 when he won, and then 04 as well, and to the FT60 as well. So just full credit to Kenny. He's a legend, and I'll be excited to share the Grand Prix with him on Sunday.
Fantastic. Ken, must be equally as good for you to race against or with Tom. I mean, you've looked after Tom's interest for a while now, and he's proven to be a really good driver, champion in Australia. Must be good for you too.
Yeah, no, it's good working with Tom. We get on good together, and I sort of think he's like a son to me, and I want to see him succeed. And I know that he is capable of winning that Grand Prix amongst a lot. There's probably 7 or 8 guys could win that on a week.
Andre Harmgardner, the first thing that strikes me is this is not some big comfortable old taxi you're driving this weekend. How do you fit in the car, first of all?
Yeah, it's a bit different. Obviously, these cars are mainly built for a lot younger guys, maybe a bit smaller, not as tall. So, yeah, definitely for people like me and Shane that are a bit taller, even Tom Alexander, we're over 6 feet tall. So, it's a bit of a challenge, but we sort of cram in there. But the biggest thing is actually trying to turn the wheel. We have to actually take our hands off the wheel sometimes to actually turn it the full lock to get around the hairpin and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're managing to get it done. We did the seats all last night, so everyone's as comfortable as they can be today.
So actually it's reasonably heavy steering, and you're taking a hand off in the middle of it or approaching the corner just to get around the corner, is that right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because the way the halo works and the steering wheel, it needs to be in a certain position, so unfortunately we can't move it further away. So yeah, you're a bit like this and then cramped as you turn. So sometimes if you go through the hairpin, for example, you have to take your hand off, and yeah, they're quite heavy on steering. I think they're doing some stuff to try and rectify that, but it's a bit of a challenge, different to a supercar where you got all the room in the world, I guess.
Yeah, Peter VODANOVICH. Peter, a strange weekend this, because experienced drivers, new drivers that have rarely driven an FT60, drivers that have driven everything else. And you've come out of the 86 series basically, so you've had some testing. How's it gone so far?
Yeah, it's definitely quite different to the 86 series and anything I've driven before. I haven't done any karting or any Formula Ford or anything like that, so a whole different experience for me, but so far I've loved it. And the Toyota team, Charles Motorsport, has really helped me get up to speed quickly, and we've had some really strong test days where I've learned a lot and gotten on the pace, which is really cool. So yeah, can't wait for this weekend.
It's a bit strange, isn't it, because you're driving against a 79-year-old with 50 Grand Prix experience, Shane van Gisbergen with a supercar champion, Daniel Gaunt, who's a DRS champion. I mean, there's such a span of experience in all this. Just what do you expect? What's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely, among some great company, some huge talent, throughout the entire field. So it's going to be really cool to race against these guys. To be honest, I don't know what to expect, but I'm just going to try go as fast as I can and see where we end up, and hopefully it's at the front. But I'll just take every day, try to learn as much as I can, and we'll see where we end up.
Daniel Gaunt, the day before the weekend starts. Now, Daniel, up to now with the Toyota Racing Series and other Toyota series, you've been the guy that pulls the drivers off the track and gives them a chat. You have been the driving standards observer, shall we call it. And now the kind of poacher is the gamekeeper again, or the other way around. What have you learnt by being the driving standards observer?
I've learned that I much prefer driving the car, and it's a thankless job. I don't envy the position at all. But in saying that, you obviously get a different perspective. You can see what they're looking at. Obviously when it's you and you're driving, you get called into the office, you're obviously biased to the decision that you want, but when you're the decision maker, you have to take an unbiased opinion. So I don't know if it's going to help me this weekend, because I plan to stay out of trouble.
No.
And then everything is, I think I'll go straight into being a biased towards whatever mistake, if it's a mistake I've made, or if I've been hard done by, I'm gonna fight for myself, I guess. So I don't think it helps me too much, other than I don't want to be in that office at all this weekend.
Shane van Gisbergen, this is a pretty special event. The reason I'm saying that is because it's not very often you get so very many experienced drivers with some junior drivers, with drivers who are not used to driving the cars, with drivers who are well used to driving the cars. It's an exciting event for the public. Is it so for you?
It's different. On one hand, I hope to do okay, but on the other hand, I hope the kids smoke us, because then that means the junior generation is good. There's been quite a lull the last few years, and now it's really good seeing karting strong, Formula Ford strong, Formula V, all those classes. So there's the whole next wave of drivers are here, and I'm sure they're going to be quick.
There's some that are very experienced in those cars, and now you haven't had a whole bunch of experience in the car, and a lot of people getting in the car, first of all, they complain that it's too cramped, to have the steering's too heavy, all sorts of things.
It's rubbish.
What's it like? It's rubbish.
I hate it. The old cars, I remember, so light, nimble, comfy. You jump in this thing and it's a backward step, but it's safe. It's longer, wider, got all the halo and stuff. It's a really safe car, but it's not raw. Like the old cars used to be so awesome. This thing's paddle shift. It only revs to 5,500 or something silly. So it's very different era.
Guys, I'm going to have to walk back here to get you all in. First of all, it's good to see you here. I'm going to basically say individually that it's a very strange Grand Prix, isn't it? The fact that the junior drivers, if you don't mind me saying that, you're sitting here with a front row with so many championships, I don't know, amongst them. What does it feel like coming into this weekend racing?
Personally, I think it's awesome. I can't wait to be able to have the opportunity to race against people like SVG and Andre Heimgartner, who have obviously won multiple championships and are really high in the motorsport world. So to get the opportunity to race against them would be awesome, and I can't wait to battle them on the track. It
is a strange weekend in that there's so many championships there. You've got a 79-year-old racing against you 10-year-olds, basically. It's an amazing event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely the New Zealand Grand Prix this year. You've got the likes of Kenny, the likes of us at the other end of the spectrum, but you've got all these professionals as well. So it's a great array, and it's really exciting for us, because it's an opportunity to race against our idols and learn from them as well. So I can't wait for tomorrow.
So you're going into this race weekend excited, with trepidation, with foreboding? What's the feeling?
I think we're all focused on our jobs. Definitely no real expectations from my side. I haven't really done much car racing, but no, I'm really looking forward to it.
We're with Andrew Davis, the General Manager, Toyota New Zealand, and Andrew, we're here at the New Zealand Grand Prix, the 66th, which comes under your purview in the company. It's been a struggle to get it going. It's been a long journey to get it going, but we have it going. You have it going, and in fact, a 3-event series. It's good.
Yeah, amazing. When you say struggle, it's been a definite struggle. But Yeah, we're there. It's one of those things. We're just getting on the plane to come up here. You just kind of have a relief, I guess, that it's all happening. So I can't wait. We'll see what happens. We've got a good quality field. We'll just see what happens. It's great.
And when did this planning come together? When was the decision made to just have a 3-round series? I mean, this it's not the work of a moment to do it anyways.
No, I mean we bounced, as you can imagine, back and forth. Are we 5? Are we 3? Do we just do the Grand Prix? It's how can we kind of focus our resources. Not being able to get internationals. It was a massive, I guess, punch to us not to be able to do that. We tried so hard to do that. So many people poured a lot of effort and attention into that. So that was really frustrating. We didn't get that over the line. But hey, that was life. I think we've probably got a good compromise. We've got a really good field for the Grand Prix, and I think that with the prospect of finding New Zealand's next world champion, being able to hold a 3-round championship and kind of stretch some of the new guys that are in there that are doing the full season, I think it just puts them in really good stead for next season when we hope to go back to a full field.
Well, there you go. Some just absolutely amazing names that are taking part in the Grand Prix this weekend and lining up for the 66th running of this very historic New Zealand Grand Prix. And we'll bring you up to date with everything that happens, not only on the Facebook site, but also via our YouTube page and things as well. We look forward to Racing World. We're returning in the coming weeks when we get back into our normal routine, and we'll catch you soon. But until then, no matter where you are in the world, stay safe always.
Perspective Group is a leading media production company based in Auckland, New Zealand. Established in 2009 by former TVNZ producer David Turner, Perspective Group offers you a vast arrangement of media options to fit any size or budget. It covers truly global services supported by some of New Zealand's leading media talents. For more information, contact Perspective Group Limited at perspectivegroupltd@gmail.com and check out the website perspectivegroupltd.com, where you'll find even more information on creating your media solutions.
You have a dream. You have all the drive in the world. You have talent to burn. Now all you need is a chance. Toyota are committed to developing and nurturing New Zealand's next generation of world-class racing drivers, because if you can dream it, we can do it.
Racing World is presented by Race Control Magazine.